Okay, hi everyone, and we're back for this afternoon. So, what's been going on today? It's the 1st of January 2018. Whoop whoop! Sorry, that's as enthusiastic as I feel. Well, you see, a while ago, little old me got some Spectrun sparkle pens. They were on offer on Hachanda, the home of hobbies and crafts and whatnot. And so I'd seen loads of people using them and I thought, wow, I can use these. So I went out and I bought the casey things, you know. Bought 1, 2, 3 cases, all different pens, and I also got the clear ones and the some of the metallics. And this is going to be an honest review. I'm starting to really not like them. Basically, today I was messing around with an old design that I really like, this badger, and I thought I could colour them with the Spectrun pens. But what happened was I opened a pen and ink just poured out of it. I'm not kidding you, it just went, and that's now destroyed that bit of the image. Now I tried another pen and it started to do the same, so the ink is pooling through the fibres, because unlike Copics and other markers, sorry, something really random just showed up on my screen there that I didn't like the look of. Unlike them, where if you want to relieve the pressure, you just ping one end off and then give it a few seconds and then go back to the end that you wanted to work on. So you take one cap off, let it relax, then put the cap back on and go to the other end, which you've probably seen me do, especially with the Copics. So for example, let's grab a Copic. So say I'm going to use this Copic, and I tend to use a brush nib, which is the scent. I've had the Copic laid out in its proper way, so to release the pressure I just do that. That releases the pressure. Then I open up this end, and that means I won't get that ink splodge. And these also are foam nibs from what I understand, and that's also what helps control the ink. Now with Spectrun Noir normal markers you can do that because they're dual ended, and I'd certainly recommend doing that pressure release on those markers. But the sparkle pens have only got one end, and by the way, yes, I've got one that's leaking profusely as well, as you can see. So if you remember how I said about opening, when you open them you've got this greenish yellowy fluorescent debris which is around the barrel, and you take that off. So you unscrew it, take it off, and then you click it back in and you screw it back in. Wrong way. And you've got to get that really nice and tight. And in one of my previous videos I said the fact that I actually struggled to do that because it's slippery plastic, and then you push where it says push around there until it primes and you see it come into this barrel. And then you put your lid back on when you're not using it, you lay them flat. When you go to use them again, you're meant to give it a light shake and then be able to open and straight away work. At least that's as far as I can understand it. I don't know, maybe I'm missing a tutorial here, but yeah, I'm starting to lose the will to live with these pens because every time I try I'm being thwarted. Right, so I'm just doing this image. I'm going to keep on colouring it with the Spectrum Noirs because I want to see if that problem happens again. And now I've got a Posco marker here, and I'm really hoping for a Christmas miracle on this, because I'm so annoyed about this image being damaged. This paper, it's Crafters Companion's own cardstock, that one that I showed in a previous video where there's no information on the packet. Yeah, I'm not having much luck, am I? So the Posco, as we can see, does change the colour to a lighter colour, and it's probably going to take a few layers. I might have to get my imagination going with this. Right. Well, hopefully let that dry and try and reapply. I'm just so miffed about that. So here's a marker. I pulled the lid off. That barrel is tight. You can see the saturation in that bit, and you can see the brush. Now, interestingly, in this one, you can actually see the brush is still white, and I wonder if it's this material they've used to make the brushes, if this is actually part of the problem. So I'm just fed up. You know, when you put a lot of effort into an image, and then what you're colouring it with ruins it, it is aggravating, to say the least. Now that's interesting, because this one I've given a very light shake just to make sure the mica moves around the barrel. In fact, as you will listen, hang on, hope you can hear that, there's ball bearings in there. Oh yeah, and on that subject, I did send a message to Crafter's Companion asking how recyclable these pens are. No response as yet, so once again I will be chasing that. I mean, we're all worried about the ocean and the amount of plastic waste that we as humans are putting in, and I'd like to know if I can recycle these. Right. I mean, you can't layer with these pens without getting a splodgy mess. So like I said, I'm slightly peeved. I have left another little message on Crafter's Companion asking have I done something wrong. This colour is Hearthside. But because the brush is more like a flat brush and bends, you've got a lot of movement in that brush, it's quite hard to get really fine detail. Some of the brushes are stiffer than other brushes. Right. And let's try a bit up here. Right now I'm really not trusting these pens. Let's try a different selection. Right, let's try this one. This is Ocean Wave. Actually, I think this one might go leak, so yeah, keep your eyes on the pen, ladies and gentlemen. Eyes on the pen. Right, I'm not squeezing anywhere near that barrel. I'm too terrified to. Yeah, there's so much ink coming through there. That is so much. In fact, am I holding this in the wrong place? Should I be holding it right down here? Because I'm just realising my natural holding position is over the push button. And it's really uncomfortable holding it down on this bit. I'm having to hold it much more upright, which would mean I can't hold it like that. Okay, I'm getting confused. just feels like there's far too much ink flowing through the barrel. I mean, I can see the ink is drying really quickly. Like I said, I'm not quite trusting this. Right, let's try another colour. Let's try this light pink. This is meant to be peony. Oh, right. So here we are. Marker that I haven't fired up yet. So I've put the thing in, plunged the barrel, and then I squeeze. It makes a squirgy sound. I've made sure I've shook it, and I can feel pressure in there because it feels a lot firmer, but I can't see anything travelling in the barrel. My hand's underneath this because every time I've done this, the whole lot's just gone blurk. Yeah, today's word, blurk. I can feel it coming through. In fact, actually you can see it there. Yeah, it's pooling here and then going in this case. Oh yeah, there we go. And a load of it's just come into that barrel. So in fact, a lot of the ink seems to be getting trapped in this outer case, so it's not coming straight down into the fibre. It's kind of going backwards into the clear plastic. And you can see it starting to travel now. So while I was travelling, I'm just doing a quick change. Let's just update that. So that's starting to flow through on this side, but if we look at the other side, we've got a pool of the ink there, but nothing in the fibre bit. Right, let's try this gently. Let's just flood in the other side. Yeah, I'm beginning to feel that these were kind of not a very good investment. There it goes. So we can get you in focus. I think it is whatever they've used for the nibs. This fibrous plasticky material. It's meant to be like a brush, but unlike foam, which holds the ink, like you get with Copics, Pro markers and others, this plastic stuff isn't holding the ink, so it's acting like a secondary reservoir, I would guess. So all the ink is pooled inside it. This could be part of the problem. So this is meant to be peony, which looks exactly like the brown that I was using earlier. I really wanted to enjoy these pens, but I'm really struggling. You know what, that is the exact same colour. What the flip-flops? Please tell me I've not been I tell you what, I actually feel like I've been diddled. Seriously. Right, bear with me. Because you saw that was an absolute brand new pen, not been used. Right, we're going to use this, the back of this as scrap. This I've got to check. Right, so this is peony. So we're going to put P. Okay. Peony, which is meant to be pink. Now, I get the feeling that the brown I used, yeah, because it's got the big splodge on the end. This is smoked quartz. That is pretty much the same colour. So pink turns out to be brown. Sorry guys, I'm getting, you can probably hear my frustration. This is Crafter's Companion are a good company. There is no doubt about that. They are a good company, they are respectable, very good helpline, lovely team to talk to. But it's when they do this and they get a product that isn't up to standard. I mean, I thought the Spectrun noir markers weren't great. They were usable. They were kind of not as good as pro markers and certainly nowhere near Copic markers, but they were usable. These insert horsey sounds here. These are making me ask some big questions. Like, can I have a refund? Right, so that's interesting. Hang on. Right, on the back of, well, causing these to fly everywhere. On the back of here, there should be a colour chart. That is pink peony, and you've just seen me put that colour down. Okay, so second one in from the green, that's peony, and the P in front, yeah. I'm worried about the quality coming out of the factory right now. I mean, with the Illustrator markers and stuff, there was issues with the nibs because they were all different shapes and they were all different lengths. With these, the ink mixes seem to be the same, and we've got problems with the pressure on the barrels. Seem to have a huge amount of wastage. Tell you what, let's try this random colour. Right, so this colour calls itself Sand Dune. And Sand Dune. But by my account, that's moss. That's what most of us will call moss green. Okay, so now, yeah, Legend, I do know that with Spectrun Noir you can't go with what's on the tin. I do understand and appreciate that. That's why I'm doing this. Right. Oh, and here's an example of that brush thing. You know, I was saying about dodgy brushes. This one is really, really fat. I mean, this is round. Makes me think of a Christmas tree. This says no point, so this is actually more. Right. This is like one of my really old watercolour brushes, which I haven't reshaped. It's not Taclon, no, this is fibre optic-y kind of stuff. But my Taclon brush is a neater. Okay, so we've tightened the barrel, we've taken the yellow thing off, so we know that's right. And then we push to watch the chambers squelch. I'm keeping my hand under this, I don't trust them. Come on. Squeeze to release the thingy-my-bob. I must be doing something wrong with these, you know. I thought I read the instructions really clearly. Right, there's ink definitely escaped from the chamber. Let's hold it upside down. Because maybe it's gravity not helping here. Sorry, I can't go over those two. That is not peony. Oh, hang on, we got ink. Yes, it's coming through. So this is, what's this one to be? This is sand dune. What is this flowing? Right. I've yet to see sand this colour, but this will do. Right. Yeah, I call this more moss. So half, you can see the ink's gone up half the brush, and then it seems to just be eventually sticking to the other half. Just give it a poke to try and get that active. But that's pretty scruffy, isn't it, on the end? So you could say if you picked up a paintbrush and it was that scruffy, you'd be reshaping it, waxing it, oiling it, or it would be going into the scrap brush pile for doing kind of scruffy bits, which we all do. Because it's not flowing out evenly, it just doesn't seem to want to go down. Some of them get too juicy, some of them don't get at all juicy. Come on. Here, penny pen. See, too much has gone down on this bit. I'm too terrified to squeeze it. Yeah, one chamber seems to be full of the ink colour and the other one isn't. Thing is, what you want in a pen is one that you can immediately pick up and use. You don't really want something that you've got to take 5+ minutes to prime and get settled, and then to have to be really extra cautious when you use it because you're too terrified if you don't use it right, you're going to have ink flow issues. Right. Let's try this colour. Let's go for blue. So that strikes me actually, is the colours all quite dirty. You know, kind of grungy. Not sure if that's deliberate. This one is called Peacock Blue. I'd say more Kingfisher Blue. Sorry, I spent too many kind of days sat watching peacocks. Yeah, never ever go near a peahen when she's got chicks. She will attack, and boy are they vicious. They rear up almost on their tails, and they use their legs, a bit like when coots fight on water. They actually use their feet to kick out, and they are pretty darn powerful. Because I got to see a peahen actually attack a woman who was trying to take photos of the babies. Yeah, I don't think she'll be doing that again in a hurry. They are very, very, very protective mothers. And the babies are very, 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 very adorable. Little balls of fluff, spottly fluff on legs. Right, let's try this colour. Let's do this down here. And this one is Starry Sky. Yeah, I'm finding them quite awkward to control. Because when you do one sweep, it doesn't always cover the area, and then when you come back over it, you get more than one tone, and it kind of looks a bit of a patchy mess. Sorry if you hear growling from my stomach, I've just had dinner. Brie and mushroom tart. Very nice too. Not too cheesy, not too mushroomy. I will regret it later. With some of these brushes, when it's got an end like this, you can really see that nice fine point. That's fine for detail, but that other one where it was just fluffed up like a Pomeranian's backside, that's no good for detail. That's what I was saying about quality control. Actually, let's find that one out again. That's the one, right. So that's what you want, not that. So that's when I say about quality control, when a product's coming out of the factory, Copic check theirs, I think it's something like 30 to 50 times. They do tests and they check the product before it goes out that door because they want the customer to always come back. If you get a product where there are not the same quality in all of the pieces, like this versus this, let's see if I can pinch, and I can't even pinch that into a, that's either got too many fibres or it's should have been melted or something, so there's an issue there with the quality clearly. That's nice and stiff, this is floppy. That's not what I'd expect from Crafter's Companion. Like I say, I do respect the company greatly, but bring out a substandard product and that's not going to do the company any good whatsoever. Right, so here we go. Sage. Right, so this is an unopened one. The reason there's so many unopened ones is basically I got fed up of doing this. Right, now I felt that go through. Let's get a quick shot. There we go. Right. See, is it coming through the other side? But it keeps on flooding the barrel. You can see how much is actually pouring through now. I wonder if the pouring system's actually too strong. And this, actually, have a look at the nib. This one's a flattish nib again. Yeah, that's one tiny click, and that's already really flooded. You can see a lot of trace in the barrel. Oh dearie, dearie, dearie. Crafter's Companion, what have you done? I want to love their products. I do seriously want to love their products, but how can I? I actually think too much is starting to come out this barrel. They talk about the pens being juicy, but there's juicy sensible, and then there's juicy what the hell, I'm drowning in ink. And I recommend these for their colouring books, which actually, have you guys ever seen their colouring books for Spectrun Noir? Oh, hang on, sorry, I've got like 50 million Santa Claus pencil cases under my socks. Okay. Ah. Whew, right, that was an adventure. Yeah, you get the colouring books. Oh, we're frozen. Come back. Right, are we working or are we not working? Right, I think we're back. So basically this is, if you've not seen the Spectrun Noir colorister pad, they come in different sizes. This is one of the smallest ones. They do them with foil and glitter. So that's like the foil, and then the glitter effect is this one. You can see the shimmer, and this is in kind of melted into the paper, so you can physically feel it, but it doesn't come off on your hands. So when you colour over it, it basically does the Spectrun shimmer pens if you've just got normal Spectrun Noirs. Though I'm not sure how the abrasiveness on the nibs acts over time, but they do sell the nibs as spares. So yeah, they do them in white, all different sizes, and then they do these black ones, which have got like embossed, scratchy, you can hear me, scratchy, bits. So when you colour with the pencils, it stays within the lines, so it's slightly above the paper. And I think these are quite cool. I do like those. And you get tons of designs. So they do all of those, and they do they do them in tag size as well. So yeah, Spectrun colours to dark tags, and they are literally tag size. Now, as you can see, I've not actually opened these, so let's have a quick peep. Yeah, I get these and then I'll just put them in a folder. I don't ever plan on using them. Come on. Don't look like I ever plan to get in them either. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna pause for 2 seconds because I'm not sure if you guys are, if we're in sync right now. I think the system's just having a glitch. Okay, I hope this is right. Right. I don't like glitches. Right. Yeah, I think the stream's gone slightly squiffy, so I hope this is still recording. Bear with me. I'm just gonna have to check. It did this to me a few days ago, and I completely lost everything. Right, right, test. Okay, we are a little bit behind. Typical. Right, so hopefully we can catch up in a second with ourselves. But this is the tags. And once again, they come in, I think they do one in a normal set, but they do all different features, so under the ocean and butterflies. In all honesty, most of their colouring and stuff is more feminine. They do a so-called steampunk one, but I don't really think they understand what steampunk is. So, but yeah, they also do these taggy things. Their steampunk is all cogs and things like that. Not exactly what I've seen through steampunk at say the Whitby Goth Festival or alternate festivals in the UK. So back to Sage. Let's see what happens now. We've actually lit that sit a little bit. I've been naughty. It just feels not quite right. Tiny bit over here. I just kind of wish that on the video I'd actually got the moment that it completely flooded. I like this colour. It is Bordeaux. Will the person who's naming these colours please make them easier to pronounce? Problem is, I always tend to colour in a circular motion. I think it's because that's how a lot of us are shown how to use markers. It's always a circular motion to ensure that you get good saturation across the paper. And these can be grapes. And this one's nib is absolutely fine. And there goes my stomach again. Let's go up here. And next, let's try. No, that colour's dodgy. Right, let's try this one. This looks interesting. Okay, this colour is called. So she's checking over the case. I got the wrong. So bear with me. Just need to find this one. Because nothing on there matches. Right. So this one's called Rose Quartz. Don't think I've activated. Oh, I have activated. Right. So this is Rose Quartz. Should be a nice light pink, fluffy colour. That's not too bad. Kind of salmonish. Haven't quite decided what some of the colours here are going to be. But I do want to keep quite a bit of white in the image. And that's a rose quartz. It's a rainbow badger. So now I'm just going to look for the red berry, which I'm sure should be red like a berry. I think I must have muddled up a couple of these sets. I'll sort them out later. Right, so this is red berry, which should be very interesting. So I was kind of hoping this was going to be a real proper red, but it's more of a magenta. And it's pretty close to the lid. But these sparkle pens there's a lot less variation in the colours. But there's something about them. You know, most of Spectrun Noir pens are really bright and over the top with vibrancy. These seem desaturated, almost as if someone's gone and mixed a load of grey in there. They feel, yeah, washed out with grey, which, I mean, I love this purple, no doubt about that, and I like the teal. So those two, yeah, I can see myself using quite a lot on different projects. But this pinkish reddish, it does feel like they've just stuck grey in, which is not a good idea when you're wanting a decent colour mix. The last thing you really want to add is grey. I met a lot of watercolour people say they won't use grey, they'll find other colours like using blues, greens, and actually using the full colour palette, because grey desaturates the colours too much sometimes. I just don't know what to think about these. I mean, if you guys out there, if anyone's got them, these Spectrun sparkle pens, how do you find using them? Are they woohoo, or do you find yourselves rowing with the pens because of the issues? Or have you even had these issues? I mean, I know I could take some water to this and wash it out, but I don't want to. I should just be able to go for it. Orange. We haven't used an orange yet, have we? Right, this is meant to be Harvest Moon. Right, so Harvest Moon. Where can we stick a Harvest Moon? Oh. Answers on a postcard to that question. Right. Just going to see if anybody's come back. Right. So I still want some white areas, so it's just trying to work out where to put it. Now we know orange and purple should go. That's a very pumpkin orange. Ooh, I can see some nice Halloween card designs. Actually, could get away with doing Halloween cards with purple and orange. Be a nice different colour scheme, or lime green, which I don't think I have in this set. That's a very pumpkin-y orange. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix that area, I'll be honest. But hey ho. This is going to be an experimental piece, I've decided. Some of these areas I'm going to end up using gold markers and silver markers just to push some of the colours out. Probably shouldn't have put orange there. Right. Put a little bit of the ear there. So, what other colours have we got? Just kind of looking for something that's a bit more kind of cupping. Where's macaroon when it's at home? Because macaroon's looks vibrant. Must say I'm not keen on macaroons after actually trying them. It's like, I like almonds, like lots of nuts, but macaroon, no, doesn't appeal to me. Just make sure that barrel is ultra tight. So it should be really bouncy and pink and kazum, if that's a word. I'd say that's about the brightest of all the colours. Let's put it out there. So yeah, for vibrancy I'd say macaroon is probably the most vibrant. Berry red is magenta, not red. Well, in the sense that it's not right. Berry red is magenta, not what we would call red. So it's more when you go to buy toner cartridges and you pick up a magenta, cyan, a yellow and a black, that's magenta. I'm just going to try and change the colour up here. And as for them sitting on top of Paplo white pens, they don't sit on top, they seem to just roll off of it, so that's quite a handy thing to know. Some markers will sit on top of them. Right, let's find another pen. A new pen, it's a new day, and I'm not feeling too sure on this. We haven't done this. No, we did Sanjin, didn't we? So, come here. Let's try biscuit. Right. There it goes. Biscuit. So this is probably going to be goldeny yellow again. This nib is quite firm. That looks nearly the same as the colour that I thought for pumpkins. Something I did notice with Spectrun noir markers was that when doing a colour chart, a lot of the colours actually were the same, or literally within. When you looked at them, when you wrote them all down and you did the colouring in, they seem to be exactly the same. Now, considering some of the pens were meant to be from like way down the family, it didn't make any sense, because you would have like your B0, it would go from the lightest to darkest, get to the middle, and then suddenly go light again, which is one of the reasons why with those pens you need to actually make your own colour chart with them. Don't just go by the nib. Eek. And as you heard, something just hit the floor. Oh, it's okay. Right, colour test back up here. So this one is called Biscuit. Biscuit. So we're going to write that. we are going to write that in B if it ever decides to come out. And then it was a pumpkin-y orange, which was over here, which is called Harvest Moon. So we'll do this as a H and an M. So, a bit like before, they're pretty much the same. So, Harvest Moon, and Biscuit, and Peony, and SQ, which I can't quite remember, Smoked Quartz. Pretty much the same two colours. So, and just to show you on the actual drawing, there's very, very little difference. I mean, that could come in handy for doing tonal variations, but the sets aren't sold as tonal groups. So whereas you get your free markers, so your say your C0, your C3 and your C5 in Copics, which would be your lightest, your mids and your darks, with the Spectrun sparkles, they're not sold like that. They're sold in random colour groups. So like this one is classed as vintage hues. It's not classed as blendable tonal hues, so that's something. So thinking of that, what happens if I add this one? Right, I'm really layering it on there, so it's going to be majorly dark. I mean, these are definitely, like the other two, the Peony and the Smoked Quartz, these are close enough that they could be used as either the same pen or you could be using them as a tonal blend. So we're going to imagine these two are markers, normal markers from the same family, and we're just going to blend out the coloration. Because I mean, if these are meant to almost be tonal, then they need to be in the same set. It's ridiculous having them in different sets, because how can you do a blend? Am I missing a point here? I mean, you can't really soften it out much. That gives that a few minutes to dry. Oh, sorry, missed that. So does this mean that I've got to put the whole lot into a different order? Okay, so that's that drawing. This is interesting. The more I look at it, certain colours the sparkle isn't showing so much. So with this colour, which right now I actually can't remember which was which. Was that sand dune? I think that was sand dune, wasn't it? Yeah, sand dune. There's not much mica showing through in that, whereas that lovely purpley colour, that's much more sparkly. Yeah, I mean the blue turquoise, not much sparkle to it, but the darker one, loads of sparkle. The green, pretty much none. In fact, same as that one. So this green's barely any sparkle, but the smoky quartz, loads. Oh no, there we go. So that is nearly a blend. So with a couple of the colours you could actually use them as tonal variations. Oh great, I'm going to have to sit down now and try and work all this lot out. I mean, it's a shame that they're not refillable, because the amount of ink that does come through them at the end of the day is huge, and I honestly can't see these pens lasting long. So let's try this one. So that's pretty dark. So what's this one then? That's darker. So in theory, if I put that one over this one, which I mean, it's going to add to the depth of it by all means. But will it work because you can't get a smooth blend? Right, let's go over with the other one. I'm going to try and do a little bit of feathering. Smooth it over. And then if I... one of them's leaking. If I find that smoke quartz, we're going to try that smoke quartz against a peony. See if we can push that. Smoke quartz. I should try soft jade and jade, because there's a sage. No, then there's a jade. That's rose quartz. Oop. So those two, that was fig and boudoir. Personally, I've never seen a boudoir in that colour. Right, that's peony. Right, so smoked quartz, which is everywhere, is meant to be the brown, which is coming up as purple. So let's add a little bit here and there. Right, and then if I add, right, so let's do the peony first. So if we do the peony around here, and up here, oh, blimey, slight mess there, and then, oh. Hi there MojoJojo007, thank you very much for the compliment. Now that's a fun name, MojoJojo, especially if you're doing a French accent. Oh, thank you. So we got the peony, and now we're going to try and add the smoked quartz over it, so it's kind of leached. God, this one's far too juicy. It's more juicy than a ripe orange. Problem when you're so used to doing Copics and pro markers and those sort of markers, using something like this is quite alien, especially when it's pouring out. I'm going to try and add. I'm going to keep on out that bit. So give that a few seconds to dry. Actually, I'm going to start adding the peony back up over some of the edges. I mean, if these are blendable, that would be absolutely awesome, because that means that when you combine them with your normal Spectrun noir pens, you're not going to have harsh lines, you're going to get nice soft edges. But if it doesn't work and you end up with a harsh edge, well, harsh lines are okay in some styles of artwork. If you're doing certain cell styles, that's absolutely cushy. But when you want a soft flowing image, not so cushy. So while that's drying, I'm going to grab another pen. Sea Breeze. How ironic. I live by the sea and I'm going to use Sea Breeze. Ooh, another dodgy brush. So it's really flat and fluffy. So controlling this one's going to be a pain. It does feel really... Actually, even... I mean, look at that. I'm holding it and it's very loose in the barrel. I wonder if that's meant to be a bit tighter. So perhaps they could have rammed a few more of the fibre optic-y, plasticky bits in this brush. If this was maybe a bit fuller, would that have an implication to how much of the ink control goes through? So I'm going to hold it upside down. This seems to be helping. Come on, gravity. 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 Oh, that flooded it. So there we go, flood up there. But I've got trace down here now, hopefully. Come on. Yay for charcoal! We British have a saying about charcoal, but I'm too polite to say it. I must say I'm one for colour pencils all the time. Most of my major work is done in coloured pencils because there's far more control. Or Copics. Copics are great fun. But these little sparkle markers, oh. As you can see by the state of my finger, I'm not having much luck. Oh my god, look at my other finger. It looks like something's done its business on my hand. Oh mummy. You know what? I spend more time washing my hands than any other, well, even at work. I mean, I work in a bakery, so hand scrubbiness and cleanliness is absolute. And I can't go into work with pen stained fingers, so I have a really heavy hand cleaner here. And that really does literally scrub your fingers raw. I'm going to be using that tonight. Right, let's try this one. So this is Sea Breeze, which by the lid is a nice gentle colour. By the tip it's quite a vibrant colour, so let's hope for vibrancy because we're not seeing much in these pens. Actually, that's quite nice. That's lighter. It still looks dulled down. So I do definitely think that these colours... I mean, it's nice to have muted colours, but I don't think these are muted in the right way. I mean, that's nice. That would go with the purple. Won't go with the tealy colour, but it'll certainly go with the purple. Spearmint. Okay. Oh, you. Oh. Oh, so please say hello to Grandmama for me. And you want to know the saying. Keeping this PG-13. Charcoal, charcoal, stick it up your meep meep. The pen, I don't know if these are broken. Well, they're not exactly broken, but they're really awkward to work with. Basically, with Spectrun noir pens, when you buy them, these are the sparkle ones, so the ink is in the black chamber, and when you get them with a kind of plug thing, so when they come into you, they're like this, with a yellow band round. And to activate them, you have to unscrew the top, take that off, then re-screw it really, really tight. And I mean really tight. So for someone like me, I don't have much dexterity, and that's hard. And then you find where it says push, and you give it the push. And that should release the ink down the chamber, and it comes into the, you see it come into these little valves, and then it comes through this fibre material on the brush. And with some of these pens, I don't think the quality is up to scratch, certainly, because there's ones where you've got a really, really nice fine end to them. And then there are some that have come through which look like the bad end of a sheep's tail. So there's no consistency with quality on the sparkle pens. But when you, I think it's, the nib is definitely not a very good material that they've used. When you look at Copics Pro markers, they're all done with foam type material for the nibs, and that helps control the flow of ink. And that's what makes those pens that little bit more kind of woohoo. I can hear my Copics calling to me in the drawer below. What on earth is that? I'm not even going to ask what that is. I'm going to poke it. Poke. Oh, get off. Strange creatures invading the drawing now. Let's add a little bit of this over here. Sometimes the ink doesn't even seem to want to come out. As in this case. Come on. Good ink. Yeah, boy. Come on. Like with the ovens at work, sometimes you talk to them nicely, they work better. So I need another colour. Yes, I'm actually running out of colours. Oh, don't think I've used this one. This is emerald green. So emerald. Ooh, if you're making tea, can you make me one too? Mine's gone stone cold. I take 1 decaf and semi-skimmed milk. I mean, you're welcome to have a guzzle of mine. It's as you can see a bit cold and it's gone a bit funny on top. Oh, and no sugar, but I'll certainly take a cookie if this one's going. Oh yes, lime scale covered tea. So this is emerald green. The barrel itself is more of an apple green colour. So when I think of emerald green, I think of... let's find my nice pens. Emerald green to me is more this colour. I know it's shown a bit bluer on the camera. So it'd be interesting to see what colour this one comes out. Oh, here's looking apple green to me. Oh yeah, that's apple green. Come on, that is apple green, that is not emerald. Okay, whoever's naming these pens, please send them to Specsavers. They need to go and get their eyes tested. Oh my god, this is terrible. It's actually quite embarrassing the fact that none of these colours match. Oh lordy lordy. Who won Eurovision Song Contest? The thing is, if you were in a rush and you wanted to grab a pen and someone said, oh, pass me an emerald green because I'm doing a peacock, which is a colour that you would associate with emerald green, and you grab this, you would be looking at one seriously messed up peacock. And actually that, out of all the colours, see, I thought the berry red, which is more magenta, was quite bright. The orange is neutralised really, really down. Actually, that's got quite interesting. The sea breeze, that's quite bright. And that little pinky colour, which I think was rose quartz. I'm losing the will to live on this. they're quite bright, but this one, this emerald sea green, that's definitely the brightest of the colours. So let's just bring that up so you can get a better idea. So my experiment with the two oranges does definitely show that there's a slight difference when layered up, and that will work to a degree with tones, but overall you've certainly got a couple of colours that are so close to each other that they're literally sat on each other, which is disappointing. But hey, we can't win them all. Actually, looking at it. Oop. Right. These two. Let's see if these two are the same. Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. So this is aquamarine and blue topaz. So blue topaz should have a more greeny tint. So is she looking at her stones? Where's my topaz? Yeah. And aquamarine should be lightish. Right, so we're going to do A, Q, yeah, Q for Quebec. Right, and that's showing some layered up as well. So that's the aquamarine, and this is the blue topaz. Oh, I haven't activated it. The English are always racing. Oh no! Right, Houston, we have a problem. Can you see the barrel? So what I was saying earlier about them flooding. So even though that is as tight as a duck's backside, that ink has gone, instead of going down the chamber and into here, it's gone straight into the plastic. Okay, I'm gonna get filthy doing this. Right, let's hold it upside down to see if gravity can help and be our friend. I haven't even squeezed it. I haven't even shaken it. This, you just even got stray bits coming out the side of it. Oh, Crafter's Companion! You owes me a hand wash or two. So it's not coming out the barrel wrong. Right, prepare for a mess. Okay, we're gonna have to push it. Come on, come on, come on. That is as tight as that is gonna go. Come on, get down there. Yeah, I'm not gonna be buying any more of these, I tell you. I think I'm gonna stick with my normal nice fluffy Copics, even if they do cost the earth. Well, technically they don't cost so much because you just buy the refills. I've been buying them with British companies, Stamp-A-Lot. And yes, I've still got an outstanding order for 2 specials, which apparently have got to come from the factory in Japan. But overall, they're a really good company, nice, reasonable prices, and when they get a sale on, you can normally get like 15–20% off of them. Oh, here we go. We're starting to move. Come on. Good pen. Come on. Wouldn't surprise me if the barrel is completely empty and all the ink is down in the chamber. It's trying. There. I think you can see that bit of blue sticking in the middle, so it's in the middle. I don't want to push it too much. Hang on. Right. That is way too loose. So I'm actually holding the end and spinning the main bit. So yeah, I think that's too loose. Come on. Just do something. We're getting somewhere. I'm gonna forget what colour this is, isn't this right? I didn't squeeze it again because I can just see it going everywhere. It's starting to move. I'm drawing fluffy clouds. Okay, give it a tiny squeeze. Just to try and get something moving. Oh, there we go. Oh. Okay, let's just say this has been actually leaking pretty well into the cap. And this pen I haven't even, I've only literally taken the ring off, screwed on the clear bit, and that's the result. Come on. I'm going to call it quits with this one. Come on, blue topaz. Come on. There's a B. Can we get a T? T. Apple tea. Yum. Okay, so that's blue topaz, which has driven me to absolute distraction. In all honesty, all that ink in the barrel, can't use it. It's not going to go into the right place. So that's a huge waste of ink. Oh, now the barrel decides to flood. So once again, that's a shame. So yeah, I'm used to having green fingers, but not blue, purple, and brown ones. I don't get this messy using watercolours, let alone acrylics. So some of these, I'm actually checking my floor because I had them on a sheet of, I had the boxes on a sheet of paper on the floor. I'm desperately checking the floor. Oh jeez, if I get a stain on this floor, I'm in trouble. It's a very expensive laminate. Saved up forever to get it. I'm not having these pens ruin it. So, the end of that very messy result is that the blue topaz and the aquamarine are pretty much again the same colour. So that's 3 colours now which are pretty much in the same pairs. So that's 3 different colours that the company could be doing. They're too close, and as I said before, if this was a blendable set, that's fine, but mind you, some of these are even too close to be a blendable set. After that, I really do fancy using one of these colours on here. Now let's have a mess. Right, let's try this one. This is the aquamarine. See, this one's alright, it's not flooded the barrel, it's quite cosy in its own little way. Whoop. That's quite a nice bright colour. Once it gets flowing. Sorry, I keep on dropping out of camera. So with that in mind, now I know there's a difference between the boudoir, the amethyst and the fig, because I combined fig and boudoir. So very quick test. Hang on, make you laugh. Yeah, this one's leaking. So peony is now actually leaking out from around here or somewhere is definitely leaking out. I'm going to end up drowning in ink at this rate. So this is boudoir. This is amethyst. Quite a nice different colour there. Boudoir's got a lot more greys in it. And then this is fig. So at least those three are really nice and different. I do like the amethyst. It's got a little bit, it's a bit brighter. I mean, normally I don't like too bright, garish colours, but in this case, I do like the purples to have a little bit of oomph to them in some cases. So it's nice with the purples that you've got a really nice mix of the grey, the light, and then one that looks almost like it's got a little bit of red in it. So now if you had three colours that did that, instead of colours that did this, we'd be singing with the fairies. Not that I've heard many fairies sing, apart from Saturday nights. When the drinks be a-flowing. Right, I'm going to make a quick change. Right, just going to bring the light a bit more in. Okay, so this bit here. I just want to bring a bit of that amethyst. Whoop. Amethyst, not fig. Not boudoir. Amethyst. I want to just bring a little bit around the orange, because earlier I was saying about doing orange and purples for Halloween. Yeah, those two would go nicely. And gone a little bit busy up that bit. See, when these nibs have got the really neat edge to them, no problem. But when they're scruffy McDoo, they is of no use at all. So going to come in with holly leaf. Please feel free to sing Jolly Holly Christmas at this point. The holly leaf in theory should act as a shader for emerald. Yep. Ish. That's actually quite close, depending on your holly tree, of course. I've got a normal and a variegated. But yeah, that's pretty-ish close. More to the variegated. And just to go over the colours, the sets that I've actually got, I don't think I've said what sets I've actually got, just shove them in there. Right, so the sets that I'm using today are Spring and Summer. Then, my pen's all jumbled up right now because I'm losing the will to live. Get in there. You have to store the pens a particular way, they'll only fit in the cases one way. Then we've got Vintage Hues. Shovey, shovey, pokey, pokey. And in one of the sets you get 2 clear pens, and since you can buy the clear pens as a separate pen, it kind of feels like they've cheapskated you, because surely if these pens have got enough mica in them, you don't need the clear one to go and do another layer of shimmer. But they've said that if it's not shiny enough, you use the clear. But what I found is if you don't let it dry enough, the colour transfers straight over onto your clear pen, and you get colour transfer issues. But as I said, the third set is autumn and winter. So that's the 3 sets I'm using. Oh, that's something else. So let's see. So I've put some colours down. Some of these have had a really long time to dry. In fact, the sand, was it sand? This orange part hasn't got that much glitter to it. So I daren't shake them. So I'm just going to add clear glitter into the white areas. And areas where there's not much glitter. Let's try and pick up, because you can activate these pens with water. You can activate them again with these clear parts. Oh, there we go, there's some transfer. Yeah, we're not going for neat with this. This is just literally a rough drawing. So the design for this little badger oh, I'll forgive you, Mojo. And you're not one of them. Never put yourself down, because in the world there's millions of people who do it for you. So always think positive about yourself no matter what, and try not to let others put you down. So I've just put over the clear stuff. So why have I done this badger design? This would have actually been a neat rough, but because of the incident with the pen just pouring out there, it's become a rough because it's feeling quite rough. And I've used the other side for doing those colour tests. So what it would actually look like, here's one I made earlier, is that's a black and white image, and then on the other side is, sorry, I might be able to read upside down, but I know you guys won't want to, is part of my logo, and then some of the details about where I can be found. And then what I'll do is I'm going to fold this in half I've got to get my embossing board out, and these will be made into sketchbooks. And the sketchbook idea is basically, over the years, over many years, I've accumulated more paper than is good for me. And I've got everything from brand new packs of cardstock all the way through to this wretched, and I mean wretched, Crafter's Companion stuff. And I've got bond papers, I've got watercolour papers, I've got papers that I never even knew I had. I mean, I've got this nice one. This I'm definitely keeping for when I'm a bit braver with watercolours. But I can use Copic markers on this and they will look really nice. And I've even got bars of chocolate. What's the date on this? Didn't even know I had it. Oh, next year. Suitable for vegetarians? Right, that's August treat time. Need to put that somewhere safe. Yeah, random bars of chocolate. They will turn up around here. And I've got, as I say, really cheap old pads where the paper is not the greatest. Some really skinny paper, tracing paper, watermarked paper. Ooh, what's that? Layout paper and W.H. Smith's paper, which actually, in all honesty, is not a bad paper. I quite like theirs. But what I'll do is I'll literally get a mix of it all, fold it over, do a proper neat edge with a bone folder thingamabob. Mine's banana shaped. And then we'll take all the sheets. Yeah, that's where the ink shot through. So that gives you an idea of how much went through. And then I'll line up all the paper, get my long hard stapler, staply, and then that will be colour your own sketchbook. And the idea is going to be to inspire people to, if they're not confident in drawing, have a go at colouring. Once they feel comfortable in colouring, have a go at doing a couple of little sketches in the sketchbook. It's not going to be, I'm not wanting people to immediately try and draw the Mona Lisa. Jeez, even I couldn't draw the Mona Lisa. She moans too much. But what I'm hoping to encourage people to do is to just pick up yonder pencil and draw a circle. The next day, pick up yonder pencil, draw a square. The next day, try and do a rectangle. Then maybe they're going to tackle an oval. And that's when I want them to suddenly... my jumper is the purple one, and yes, it is cozy, and this is my dressing gown because it is freezing. So after someone's had a go at drawing a circle, oval, a square and a rectangle, and I also want people to maybe even have a go at drawing a triangle. We all know how dodgy triangles are. And once people have had a go at doing that, I really want to encourage people to put all of that together. Join up all of those lines. Have a little bit of confidence. And when they join it all up, suddenly think what they can turn it into. Change the shapes. Turn it into their own drawing. Add little bits. Until the person feels comfortable enough that they're willing to have a go at taking those basic shapes and doing a drawing of their own. And what I'll probably do in this sketchbook is not only leave the blank pages, but is to do basic drawings for people to have a go at. I mean, for me, I can speed draw just about. I'm not the fastest, but I can produce something quite quickly. And I can go from more realistic through to cartoonish. And even if I just do 2 pages of this book, it's only going to be about 10-20 pages long. 2 pages out of that with a couple of drawings on might be enough to get someone to have a go. Because it's time, I think, for the world to step away from the computers, apart from to watch Twitch and Yours and Silly here. Hi everyone. I'd like people to step away from the Game Boys. I'd love people to step away from the PX4, 5, 6 and God knows how many. Turn away from the TV and just pick up a pencil, pick up a rubber even, a piece of chalk on black paper, you know, paper bag and a pen. Absolutely brilliant. Brown paper bag and a pen. You can get up to so much and make some beautiful work on those. Anything you want to create on, you can create on. It's the world is your oyster, quite literally. And if you're not keen on shellfish, the world is an open barrel. What you put in it is up to you. And the nice thing about art is it's so open for interpretation. There is no wrong and there is no right. One person can look at Michelangelo's David and say, oh my god, he looks gorgeous, and somebody else will say, he's out of proportion, the fig leaf's too small. They'll criticise, they'll find fault with it, and then you'll get the person who walks in and says, I can respect that. Somebody had to carve that stone to build that. It doesn't matter, it's not perfect. The effort and the ability that went into that, and the skill, that's respect, and you have to respect it. So nobody is right when it comes down to judging art. So I mean, me, when I was doing my GCSEs, I was told I was useless. Told I should stop doodling in class. Well, I didn't do well on my exams. With that sort of thing being told to me constantly, you're no good, stop doodling, don't do this, don't do that, you need to focus on this, focus on that. And left school, didn't really, went straight into an admin job, you know, respectable admin job. And few years ago went back to art. And now I'm happily selling my images online, not in great hoards or anything like that, but I do craft fairs and I'll make back the table cost comfortably. And it's nice, I've actually recently had return customers who said, oh, what have you got that's new? It's just nice, because somebody out there is appreciating what I'm doing. And yeah, when I'm stood at a craft fair, I did one in kind of November, December, at a really big, very, very posh venue. And some of the things that I heard people say out loud, I nearly went and thumped a couple, because there were people saying, oh, that's not very good. Oh, I don't like that. My daughter could do better than that. And I'm thinking, well, your daughter's not here, and if she is, she's welcome to show me how to do this drawing better. So it was quite often quite disheartening. But then when you hear somebody say, oh my god, I love that image. Oh, I want that. That looks like Freddie R. Bassett. Or that looks like Coco or a cat. And you see their eyes light up, and the happiness that people see when they see an image. That's the best part of doing drawing, and it's seeing that light in people's eyes and making somebody smile. You seriously can't beat that. I mean, I do like charcoal myself. Charcoal, yes, I end up with little grey handprints all over the place, and if my cats get into the room where I'm doing charcoal, there's little grey paw prints all over the place. But it's a lovely medium to work fast in. If you go to a local zoo and you've got a piece of willow charcoal, or even just a charcoal pencil, you can get drawings down so quickly. It's just like rapid fire. You can get all of your shading done with one hand, literally just making a quick smudge. You can get tonal variations, beautiful work in charcoal. In fact, a lot of professional artists I know, they will use charcoal as the first medium to get down the initial drawings. What I recently bought, here we go, from the works in the UK, these woodless charcoal pencils. Okay, yeah, they're only £2. When I'm doing very quick charcoal drawings, you've got a softer, medium and hard. They work fine. I mean, you have to be careful how much pressure you put on the barrel when you're holding them. But seriously, they're really nice. Don't want snippety snip snip. Also, opening up the case, you have to be a little bit careful. There we go. Rubbish bags over there. Come here, pencil. Right, pad of paper. Ta-da! Wandering. Well, yeah. These guys, they don't have sharp points, but you don't need them. And if you're at the zoo or anywhere, and you just see something that you really want to capture really quickly, you can catch it. If you've got time for more detail, you can change onto your medium to take on a little bit more. Detail if you get the chance to. And then you can come in with your hardest pen, which should be your darkest. And your hardest pen, you can really add in proper detail. So like I say, these are only £2 by using different tonal marks. So hatching, cross hatching, happy hatching as well. And you just move your pencils round. Keeping your hand light. And you can have a drawing in seconds with charcoal. And if you get a chance, you can neaten it up. But if you just literally want to take down the key parts of the drawing, you can use a pencil smudgy thing. I can't think of the word. Or if you're very, very good and you've got small fingers, you can just take up and move some of the detail just with a finger. So yeah, every medium's got its benefit. Now I'd love to include charcoal drawings in this sketchbook design, but because I'd have to spray a lot of fixatives, it wouldn't quite work. What I'd have to do is fix it, then scan it very carefully, and then include the scanned copy. I'm hoping to go to Monkey World in somewhere near Dorset in January, when they've got their half-price tickets for locals offer. And charcoal, that's going to be travelling with me, because once I get there I can immediately find a little place to hide. There's loads of there's little critters that you can go and see, and there's loads of places to go and sit. So I definitely recommend Monkey World. And then when you're there, it's a big site, so you can always find somewhere where there are not screaming kids. Mojo, I will still always love you. I know my voice is annoying, thank you very much. So, like I say, if you go to a place like that and you're doing gestural drawings, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, it's literally just catching the moment. Okay, so that one can go to the side. Oh, that's funny. Underneath, funny what you find in sketchbooks. So this was actually some really very fast drawings of horses that I took down while I was at a county show. So I had the luck of seeing an Arab part breed. She was absolutely gorgeous. So while she was going around the ring and standing for inspection, this is this is the detail sketch that I got of her, and I took note of some of the movements, and whilst I was waiting for kind of the judging to finish, because they really are very stringent judges on horses, I did a quick caricature, and so I stylised a lot of the image. And I'll tell you what, bear me 2 seconds, because I do have the final image with me. So from all those little sketches, I then came back home with a few photos. Because these horses, when Arabs and certain horses are displayed in a ring, they're not given a full bridle, and they're not given full tack. They have literally like a thread, and the chap who was running her around a ring, he couldn't control or steer her. He was literally having to use his shoulder against her shoulder to push her away from the fence, otherwise he would have been squished. So I got some really nice photos of them running towards me, especially, I mean, it was tipping down on rain, with rain on the day. And this, hopefully, let's bring the camera out. Sorry about the awful reflection. So I came home, and this was the result. Killer glare. And this was done in the Spectrun Noir normal pens. So I've done my concept sketches, I've done my study, I've had a think, I've got some photos, and then combining all of that together, I've produced a final drawing in markers, which is my preferred medium. And that's what I will do each time I find a subject that I really want. And that's part of the joy of drawing and enjoying, and that's why I'm so desperate to encourage more people to do it. I mean, if I had the time I would do an art class down in Dorset, but alas, full-time work and all of that blast stops me from doing that. Also, site rental for a hall and insurance is through the roof. But a lot of you probably look at this image and say, me, draw that, dream on, it ain't gonna happen. It will. It can. Seriously, you guys can draw like this. All you need to do is keep on up with the practice. You need to find your personal style. So, some people copy Amy and manga styles, and that's really all they stick with. Other people go for more Disney. So copying, I hate to use the word copying, but it is copying the concept designs from Disney artists, so they draw all the characters, Beauty and the Beast and all that. You never ever see Beast in its human form drawn much. Seriously, it's always the Beast form. You don't see that much of the human form around. So but you see a lot of Disney or Pixar, so How to Train Your Dragons, lots and lots of fan art. So people learning a style by that way, and people are learning to draw, but everyone needs to step away from that and see if they can find their own style. You might not like your own style at first, but your friend will. Somebody will always like the style you come up with. So as you can see from today, we've got cutesy sketches through to serious work. I haven't really settled on a style, but I don't want to. That's kind of me. Is I will do multimedia. I'll do whatever comes my way, apart from oil paints and acrylics and watercolours. But that means that I've got that variation, and I can go wherever I like with my artwork. I'm not stuck in a rut of only having one style. I'm experimenting constantly. In fact, bear with me 2 seconds. I really should have brought all this stuff around the other side of the studio. Oh, sorry about that. It's a long run. Right. So, like I was saying with styles, so the Arab horse, that's one style. The sketching, that's another. The simplified, another. But then I'll take my ink sketching and I'll produce something like that. So it's completely different again, a limited colour palette. That's always one worth. I recommend always try and do a couple of drawings with limited colour. Take 2 colours, 3 colours, even 1 colour, and create the tonal values from that 1 colour, and you'll get some stunning results. Seriously. But then you get me near a colour pencil, and I'll end up having a lovely time. Because with colour pencils, you can just keep on layering and layering. You can add solvents, mineral spirits. You can use wax and oil pencils. There's huge variation, and that's whereas with markers, you can be restricted on your tonal gradients because, say, you've got a dull colour and you put a bright colour over it, it's still going to have dullness. With pencils, you can keep on layering until you get that exact colour that you want. And when I said about doing 1 colour, that's what I mean. So this is Copic markers. So the Arabian, the Arab part breed, she's done with Spectrun noir markers, and that was about 5 pens. And this dapple grey was done with Copic markers, and probably about 3 greys. I think it was C0, C3 and C5. Maybe a little bit of C7 added in the darkest parts. So a complete different view again. And then it's like taking a sketchbook with you. As you said, sketchbook is a great idea, and it's something you should always have, no matter teeny weeny A6 one or big giant A3 one, if you can lug it around. Sketchpad, invaluable. Do I have a Discord? I'm afraid not. I'm not very tech savvy, but it is on my to-do list. You should see my to-do list. It's like a giant loo roll. So a sketchbook. This is one of mine. It's a really cheap book part. In fact, this is my coursework for my degree. This is how sad things are. Let's bring the light back over. Sorry about the reflection. We'll actually, if I take you guys out from under there, you sit over there, behave. So the sketchbook, I only paid about £1.99, and it's got this gel cover thing on that you can take off. So once the sketchbook's full, I can just slip it out, slip it in, and I can wash this. But sketchbook can be the most loose drawings on the planet. So this is actually a whole sketchbook of figure work, and I got sketches from where I work. Like literally at lunchtime, just grabbing a pen and drawing what I see. And then when I'm out at an event, so like this was the, oh geez, this was one of the county shows down in Dorset, Meltplash, and there was a stunt company doing horse riding, and twice riders came off the horses, and this guy actually went underneath he fell forward on 2 horses. They were doing a pyramid, and he quite literally went under the front of the horses. And by that time, once he started to fall, I stopped taking photos because I won't photograph a full instant. I'm not really that ghoulish. I know technically if I do, I've got to hand it into the police, or if it does result in a fatality, all the footage has to be handed in because they need to know what happened. So I don't like photographing, but somehow, even though he went underneath 2 horses' legs, he came out alright, and he did a backflip afterwards. So I was able to catch the moments. So around the shows when you've got people walking the horses. This was the chap who was fighting the Arab. So it's catching the moment. Even if some of the moments aren't that pleasant. If you see something that inspires you and makes you want to pick up that pencil and put what you're seeing onto paper, go for it. The only thing is that I would say don't try and go for nudes or anything under the age of 16. That can end you up in serious trouble. Basically, if you're going to do drawing of people, keep it clean, keep it adult, and just make sure you know your boundaries within the art world, because even though nudity is okay in certain circles, if somebody sees an image that they deem to be inappropriate, pornographic or anything like that, you could be in serious trouble, because Mr. Policeman is going to come over and say, you've drawn that image, where did you get the original image from? So please, please, please be careful. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Let's just say Rolf Harris and leave it at that. So actually this is a dodgy image. So this was on one of the beaches in Dorset. I just stuck ink in my eye. Basically a disabled group were enjoying music because we had live bands and all sorts. Yeah, maybe a goofball, but I'm a legal goofball. And the disabled kids were having a lovely time, and I just had to catch that atmosphere. And I checked with the carers at the end of the day, did they mind? No, there was no problem with it. So I did catch it's not full nude, but it's a strange drawing for me. So this is kind of 80-page sketchbook. There's blank pages, yeah, but most of it is filled with images. Where I live, we often have tanks driving around. You can be stuck at lights and learn behind a tanker pull up beside you. It could be a First World War tank, a Second World War tank, a new tank. You'll either get waved at by the drivers and the co, or they'll start messing around and scaring you. And when you've got a tank come charging towards the back of your car, you do kind of lose a few pounds. And it's lovely because at certain times of the year they'll bring all of the vehicles onto some of the beaches and they'll do a rally up to some of the areas, and you can literally sit in the middle of the road, not that I recommend sitting in the middle of the road, and have a tank come straight past you. It's an amazing feeling. So you can go semi-realistic, full realistic. So capture a moment in time, and this part isn't actually his elbow, this is actually a roll of fat that was coming off the chap. His arm is just here, but he had a bag of fat underneath that. That image I seem to get asked a lot about. It's literally just every day as they come past. A doctor's surgery last year, I had a very big medical scare and I had to spend quite a long time in doctor's surgeries. I was able to catch other people waiting, people who weren't sure on what was going to happen to them, and some of the people won't be coming back out. I know that very well. Silhouette art is brilliant. If you can do silhouette art, wow. Seriously, I can't do it very well. There are some artists who do the most beautiful silhouette art, and you wouldn't think there'd be much to it, a black shadow. But it's an absolute joy when you see proper silhouette art done. So I have a play with that, and marker work, motions. And this lady, this was up at the Whitby Goth Fest, and she actually inspired me to do a proper full drawing, because she was posing for some photographers and I managed to get in on the action. Being small, I can normally crawl underneath everybody else and get to the front. So she actually inspired this piece. So this is Copic markers again, and you'll notice the lady with the blue hat. I need a pointer, don't I? Right. The lady with the blue hat has got blue reflected within the image, and so in the coat there are hints of blues. Even down into the skirt we've got blues, whereas the lady in the red hat has got the reds hinted all through the drawing. And that way it means that even though the characters are in different poses, I did manage to kind of do a 360 of her, but I've reflected the colour chart all the way down, even into the boots. There's blue in this boot, there's red in that boot. The shadows, we got cold grey here, we've got warm greys here. So by taking my bog standard sketch and getting down those initial ideas, I'm then able to come back with a few photos, of course, and produce something that sells. For a print this size, I will be charging 30 UK pounds. If it's framed, it's going to be a lot more because the frames cost an absolute bomb, and I don't like framing personally. From my side, I prefer the customer to do the framing because I don't know what your house looks like. I don't know if you've got that daffodil white on the wall, or if you've got a red panel behind your bed. So I don't know what frame's going to go in your house, so I won't frame the work myself. I'll let the customer do the decision. So that's why sketchbooks are so handy to have. Don't you even think of it, you bad drawings. They're about to run off. This lady, that was another hospital sketch. She looks a little bit skinny. She literally was just bone, and I was shocked by the state of her while she was waiting at the desk, and I kind of had to catch that. Like with the disabled lad dancing, it was that moment in time that part of me couldn't believe I was seeing, so I wanted to catch that, and that's what I did. And very quick use of cross hatching just to indicate the shade. And another musician, got two of them. That was at a game fair where there were two banjo chaps and a trumpeter, and there was a drunk chap dancing with them, and this drunk chap actually scared them enough that they went and hid for a while until he'd gone. So it was just lovely to watch. And then just randomness. I do prefer working colour to grey. I think colour just gives some vibrancy, gives more of the story. But sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. And that's the importance of a sketchbook. And when you see vibrant colours like this little badger, sometimes that's too much. And a lot of time though, I do like grayscale. So like this guy. This is this one I started oddly enough using Derwent graphic pencils, the original ones before the new ones, and I couldn't get tonal. All I could get was this soft grey, even with the 9B, absolutely useless. And I wasn't getting anywhere at all with the drawing, to the point where I actually nearly threw the whole thing away. Now when you get to that stage, I always think it's worth stepping back, leaving it, and coming back later to it. So that's what I did. And in the meantime, I got told about some pencils by another artist, and she told me to come and get these Faber-Castell 9000 series. These are heaven on a plate. So they come in a nice little tin, and you get the history of the company, because one of the earls died last year and they had a son as well born, so the company is in good hands. And as you can see, the B pencils I'm chomping away at. These ones, this was the set that I used to do this guy, and as you can probably see, in truth I've not used much of the graphite, considering I had to overlay the whole drawing. And the photo source, my own photo, I won't work from anything but my own photos. I know that sounds really silly, but I prefer to know the source of where my material's coming from. In this case, it was a country park place. It was a farm in Berkshire. Where was it? Bucklebury Farm in Berkshire. They have a herd of red deer, about 3 stags, and probably about 30 hinds. And they got red deer. They've got muntjac. I think sometimes they have roe. They've got axis or silker in there as well, and fallow. And you can go on a tractor and all around the site. So during the rutting season in October, when I used to live in Berkshire, we literally just shot down there because I wanted some photos, and got to see the belching that the deer do when they do their call. And we didn't get to see any antler on antler action, but just being there and hearing that sound is amazing. Oh my Jojo, please don't overload. You're too important. And by the way, if you want to follow or subscribe or whatever the options are around here, you know you're always welcome, because everyone is welcome here. So with the graphics, that's why I use the Faber-Castell, the same as when I'm doing colour work. We're using the Faber-Castell Polychromos. Yummy. Now I do also use Caran d'Ache's luminance pencils. These are jolly expensive, and they are soft, so they don't last very long for me, but they've got such a beautiful laydown. I'm hoping to get some more of these, but I think I'm paying through the nose for them, I know that much. Oh, thank you for the follow. I'll send you a hug later, honest. So the luminance are a lot more expensive. The Faber-Castell aren't so expensive. This tin, I'm going to scare you by saying I pay £15 for this tin of 12 pencils. But it's worth it. Normally I would say don't go for the most expensive equipment when you are starting out, and I do stand by that. Though there are some techniques that you can't learn if you've got the wrong materials. Especially, I mean, with watercolour paints, you're not going to get nice watercolour colours or the lights. What do I call it? Cheap watercolours are going to fade faster than proper watercolours, if that makes sense, because they've not got the chemicals and the pigments and such in them to stay light fast. That's the word, light fast. The same as Copics versus Spectrun Noir. Copics aren't light fast, nor is Spectrun Noir, but the quality of Copics will mean they will last better than Spectrun Noir. And this will also apply with your colouring pencils. If you go out and buy some Crayolas, they're not going to have so much light fast as some of the Faber-Castells or the luminance. But each pencil has got a different level, so you can ask for charts from the companies to find out what the most light fast pencils are and the most light fast pens. So that's always really handy to do. I'd certainly recommend that. Let's shove that over here. And I do have Prismacolors, I won't lie. Mine are, let's see, mine are about 20 years old, and I got them, I was very lucky in the sense to get them because my dad was over doing business in America, and he asked if I wanted any pencils while he was over there because they're cheaper. So I said, oh, can I have a couple of Prismacolors? So he bought a massive tin. In fact, yeah, I think he bought a big tin and then a couple of little tins, which was really, really nice. And I've used them for a few years, but then when I found out about the Faber-Castell Polychromos, it was just like, I'm heading off over that direction. I find the oil-based pencils nicer to use, and you can certainly, it feels like a lot of time you can get more layers with them, but then the Prismacolors can produce the most beautiful vibrant colours. And the Verivin from Prismacolor, those are really nice as well. You can combine them, so you can always get awesome effects by doing that. So it really depends on what you feel most comfortable with. I won't go near oils or acrylics because I am useless with them. I won't even try, though I do have the paints in my drawer for emergencies. But 90% of the time I am pencils or markers. It's kind of, I do tend to stick with my comfort zones, though drawing people was way out of my comfort zone. But it seems to be popular with people, so I've continued it on. And even if I don't pass this degree piece that I've got to do, I've come away learning something. And I'll certainly keep a sketchbook for sketching down people. Same as I keep a sketchbook for sketching animals out, or if I see some really nice architecture and I haven't got a camera on me, then at least I can get a really nice sketch of that down. Just quickly zooming something through. No, I don't want that, don't want that. That's what I want, what I really, really want. Nice and spicy. Right. Okay, what's got ink left in it? Most of my Copics are sadly drying out. Right, C5 on Copics. So, ignore the dragon head, that's me just randomly drawing. So, gesture drawing. Oh my god, my hands are such a mess. Right, that's tomorrow's problem. Right, so, how to gesture draw. I've not really ever done gesture drawing, so this is as new to me as everybody else. So, and the thing is, I've got to get the hang of this quite soon, because I'm going somewhere where I'm going to need to be able to map down bits really quickly. Whoop. Bicep femoris goes round. The muscles on the arm go round and round. And if ever you're going to draw wildlife and animals, it's definitely worth learning just basic anatomy. I mean, don't worry about learning every single name of every single muscle. And if you turn around to someone and say, "Oh, you got nice set of glutes there," they should definitely take that as a compliment. So, right, so I know I've done this slightly wrong, so time to fix it. I am self-taught doodler. YouTube has been a major factor in life. I've watched people, I've listened to people. If somebody's turned around to me and said, that's absolutely terrible, then I've taken that on board. And it asks, if someone said to me, that's absolutely rubbish, I could draw better than that, or my 2-year-old daughter could do better than that, then my answer will always be, okay, that's absolutely fine, I respect your opinion. Please have a pencil, can you please show me how to improve this? Because if you don't ask, how can I improve it, then you could be missing out on something. Even if the person is just being plain ignorant and rude, if they're not, and they could actually see a way to help you improve or get better balance in your image, then get the information off people. Dear me, why do you animals have to have such pronounced eye ridges? Why can't you have flat ones like the rest of us? I love the Copics for the fact that you can layer with one colour. So once a colour dries, you can apply it again and you'll get a darker tone. I think this is the W.H. Smith paper, so it's not the most woohoo paper, but it'll do. Okay, so if that's C5, okay, I should have a C7. I thought I had a C7, right. Here's a C7. Still haven't decided what markers I'm going to take on my little road trip. Can't take many, so everything's got to be very selected. I might just take some tan or grey paper. Oh, I love working on that. Expensive stuff, but great fun. If I take tan or grey paper, all I need is a black pencil and a white pencil. If I take white pencil, then I'll probably need just 3 markers. So decisions. So I'm being very naughty here. I shouldn't have much detail, but I can't help it. I need the detail. didn't have any. Is there? Look at that part of the leg is hidden. Put the pen down. Step away from the pencil. Okay, C0. Is that dry already? Okay, my C0 I need to get a replacement for. C1 should be okay because that's got a refill. There we go. I refilled my C1 a couple of days ago, so I want to soften the image, so I've gone medium dark and then I'm coming through with a light just to soften up a couple of those edges and add in a little bit of cast shadow. And that's not as quick as I want to be able to do this. So that's a gestural drawing. Like I say, I've got to pick up my speed. I'm so slow. But you see, my problem is I keep on getting caught in the detail. And look at me now, I'm still drilling in that detail. I just love the fact with Copics you can go as thin or as thick with your lines as you want to. Right, step away, please, step away. So that is a very quick gestural drawing, not as quick as I want, but that is how I would draw a chimpanzee with just 3 markers. But like I say, I've got to pick up my speed because when I'm say at the Monkey World Place in Dorset, these primates are going to be moving, so I've got to work. If one sat like this, that's absolutely fine. I can take that long to get the image down. If they're up and walking, I'm going to literally have to be under a minute drawing. Now, with people who are going to go into animation school, you're going to learn about minute drawing. And it's absolutely key essential that when you're sat with a team discussing what a film or what a project's going to be about, that you can get ideas down onto a piece of paper really quickly. And that's where a minute drawing will come in, because when somebody says, oh, Mr. Fish, who is a yellow and blue fish, has a long nose, something like that, you could have a sketch up within a minute of a Mr. Fish and hold it up and say, is this what you mean? And they'll turn around to you and say, yeah, I like that, I like the long nose, don't like the fin. And you can throw ideas back and forward that way. So let's see. Right, so we're going to go faster. So let me find. See, now when I was at Monkey World last time, not many primates were actually out and about, because it'd been January. It's half price ticket time. Only time I'll go. Only time I can afford to go. And the weather absolutely freezing cold. I mean, seriously freezing your socks off. So not many animals wanted to come out. They were all in their little indoor homes, which I don't blame them for. And when they did come out, they were literally faster than a flying furball. Right, so right, pen at the ready. Right, Let's see. Okay, there's no guidelines, so right, let's go for this. And I'm not going to use the famous Rolf Harris catchphrase before anybody asks. Oh jeez, I've only just filled this pen, come on. Come on. Hang in there, Copic, you'll be filled again tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back, over, out. Forehead around. Upper leg, back, 2, 3. Motion, 2. Swap, 2, 3. Up. Ear. Head. Muzzle. Hand. Hand. Back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hi, Cameron. Every lemur's got a different, slight difference in its tail. Oh, crumbs. Hand again. Muzzle detail. In, out, round, over the head. Hand, down. 1, 2, 3. Fuzzy, 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 fuzzy. I'm little fuzzy lemur. Secondary pen, I need another pen. C3. PO. Midterm. And my C3's running out. No! All I want for Christmas is 1,000,000 Copic refills. I can see a very, very big order of refills going in next week. And nibs as well. Ta-da! Jeez, right, that's more the speed, and that's got down the legs, the face, and the tail posture. Now, if I can draw to that speed, we're cushy. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera, by the way, as well. That was not planned. So that is more of the speed which I need to be able to work to. And just add a little eyeball in there too. So this is what I mean by, even with a limited amount of colours, in this case just greys, you can still capture the animal's likeness, and you can still produce an image that can be recognised. Now, in this case, my markers are nearly dying on me, so I've decided that's the image that I like. So I want to add some detail. Now, with the lemurs, at Monkey World, you can actually go in with them. If there's one particular lemur who you can't go in with because she had a really bad time with humans, and if she's out, they have to be, you kind of have to be extra careful. But if the main troop is out, you got to be sensible. Of course, these are still semi-wild animals. They might get their food from a bucket now and then, but they will bite, scratch, and claw if they don't trust you. So what I would then do is, over that Copic's scruffiness, is I would then sit and take down key detail, but just put it in with a pencil, because that way it's still keeping the image really nice and loose. Lemurs have an amazing movement. They're fast, they're bouncy. I think Tigger must have been based off of a lemur, because when you see them moving from one area to the other, the flexation in their spine is just beautiful. They can walk on their back legs, they can, well, they're bipedal and quadrupedal. They're intelligent, and they're very, they have a lot of character in them. So what I've done with this initial Copic sketch was I was literally just getting the basic anatomy. I was catching the shadows of where the muscles are, even in that small burst of time, and I was marking down where I could see the most shadow. The only area I really messed up was that back leg. But in all honesty, when a creature's in motion, you've got to move fast. So you can take a speed drawing and then neaten it up at the end of the day if you want to. That's what I love about Copics, is you've got that flexation with a Copic to be able to get down a gestural drawing so quickly. So there we go. So we a little dragon head, rusting chimp with a quick 1, 2, 3 of pens, and then a speed lemur. So overall today has been very random, which is what you will get from me, including my little random colourful badger. I do like the turquoise and the orange, that goes nice. I'm not keen on that sand yellow though, that's yuck. Kind of, it's not even Dijon mustard, not even English mustard, maybe it's French mustard. Either way, it doesn't cut the mustard. So these pens should shimmer, and I can confirm there's shimmer. It's a bit patchy in places, so I think you should be able to see this little splot there that shines just there. Much more shiny than the rest of it. So not all of the shimmer comes out, as it should, but hey ho, that's the experimenting. Right, and I think it is time for me to hit the hay. No, not literally. I'm not going to hurt any hay. No hay will be hurt in the production of this video. Honest. Hey. So tonight, we've gone over Spectrun Noir Sparkle pens, or they've gone over me. In fact, bear with me, let's see. Did I get anything back? Nope. I'm going to chase Crafter's Companion over those issues because I'm not happy with them at the end of the day. And if you're going to go and buy them, please think extra carefully before you make that purchase, because if you want inky fingers, these could be the pens for you. I wonder what happens if I scrape that off. Not a lot. So done something stylised and cute, and then we've gone for a bit of realism, fantasy, and speed sketching tonight. So random, but I hope this has helped inspire you guys out there to go and find that little bit of paper, even if it's the cheapest pad on the planet. Go and find a pencil. They're out there. And even if you just sit on the park bench and take a couple of studies, even if it's just a tree, a pigeon, a blade of grass, you will come away learning something. So I do hope that this has helped inspire you to have a go and never get disheartened by what other people say, because you can do it. Have faith in yourself and enjoy. So till next time, hope everybody has a lovely evening, especially if you're about to go to bed. And I'm not sure when I'm going to be posting next, because I've got too many 12-hour shifts to name. So I'm hoping I'll be back around the weekend. Monday, Tuesday, yeah, weekend, probably weekend. So please keep an eye out for the next post, and thank you for following and watching. Have a lovely evening, take care, and good night all. Pleasant dreams.